Want to know why Roanoke is called the East Coast mountain biking capital of the United States?
Whoa! Stay tuned to find out. Hey everybody, I'm Hal Cohn.
And I'm Chris Cohn. We're with Cohn Realty Group,
And I'm Ben, mountain biking enthusiast.
There we go. We got an avid mountain biker here with us today. If this is your first time to our channel, please make sure you click that subscribe button and the bell icon so you're notified each and every time we release a new video about living, working, and playing. And today we're talking about mountain biking here in the amazing Roanoke Valley.
Oh, perfect. I mean, we cued that leaf just in time. This is a wonderful time to move to the Roanoke Valley, and if that's you, your friends, or your family, we would love to have a conversation with you. We have folks constantly contacting us, saying they want to move to or within Roanoke, Salem, Botetourt, and the surrounding areas. If we can help in any way or just have a conversation, please reach out, give us a call, send us a text, or shoot us an email.
Hey, welcome. It is a beautiful fall day here in the Roanoke Valley, and we are just thankful we're out and about today, as always,
Yay,
on the
Ben.
trails. And we're at Carvins Cove, as we mentioned earlier. We're talking about mountain biking today, so it is just gorgeous out here.
It is. It's perfect. And you know, we have more and more clients contacting us saying that they were first attracted to the Roanoke Valley because of mountain biking. So, you know, I don't really know a lot about mountain biking.
Nor do I.
And so I feel like we needed to call in a resident expert, Ben.
That's right.
Hey, thanks, Ben, for being here today.
Good to be here.
And like I said, we do have so many clients that were really drawn to this area for their mountain biking opportunity. So we're going to discuss that a little bit more, tell you all about the trails you can explore based on your adventure level and your level of interest. So yeah, let's talk a little bit about mountain biking in the area. What do you say?
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
As we said earlier, it is a beautiful fall day here in Roanoke, and we are out at Carvins Cove. We talk to you all the time about hiking, biking, fishing, you name it. We've got great and beautiful outdoor amenities. We've got other videos on that, so make sure you check those out. But today, we're gonna talk about mountain biking because we have had people move here. We have people contacting us all the time talking about, hey, I wanna move there for 4 seasons, but also because of mountain biking. And why is that? Because we are the only IMBA silver level ride center east of the Mississippi, and I said it. And we've got not only a professional here today, we've got an enthusiast, advocate, avid mountain biker right here who moved here from Austin, right?
That's right.
And is this one of the reasons you moved here?
This is a huge reason why I moved here.
Awesome. So if somebody is wanting to know more about Carvins Cove, wanting to know about your journey, so how did you start mountain biking?
So I started mountain biking, I would say probably 10 years ago on the West Coast. A friend of mine got me into it, and I've been hooked ever since.
Awesome. And so did you start out with like little dirt bikes, or did you start out like full tilt in the very beginning?
I started out with what is called a hardtail, which is you have a forked suspension on the front, but you don't have a suspension on the back.
Okay.
It's a little rough riding for downhill, but you can maintain a little more control when you're kind of meandering through the trails.
Okay.
If you're a beginner.
If you're a beginner, all right. Great way to start. And so when you were looking for places to move, what caught your eye about Roanoke?
Well, number one was just the amazing mountain bike trail system that they have here. Like you said, it's a silver level IMBA trail system here, and there's just so much it has to offer.
And if I remember correctly, one of the first times that we were actually introduced to each other was via Zoom, and that's one of the things you and Emily told us was about Roanoke and the fact that, you know, you were going to have the opportunity to go out your back door and mountain bike anytime. Is that right?
Yes, that is one of the things she hooked me on when she wanted to move back to the East Coast to be close to family. She learned that the area here, Roanoke River Valley, is the East Coast mountain biking capital of the world of the United States.
Hey, as long as we've got you convinced of it, we are in excellent shape on that front. So, oh wow, look at there. So we got leaves dropping. We've got Ben here with us, and we are so fortunate to have helped Ben and his family move here to the Roanoke Valley. They found us on YouTube. They called us up. They set up a Zoom call. We listened to them intently, and we had a few hiccups along the way, but we finally got you into an amazing house, right?
That's right. It's been a competitive market lately, as I'm sure everyone is aware of. And just coming up on a year ago now, we made the move. And yeah, we originally discovered this area and learned so much more about it just because of your videos. So And now I'm in the video.
Yay!
And you can too. Okay, so let's dive right in. We're gonna talk about 6 areas that are known for mountain biking here in the Roanoke Valley, but we're gonna start off with Carvins Cove, which is probably the most popular and most utilized trail system for mountain biking here in Roanoke.
Right, so we're going to spend a lot of time talking about that and relying on Ben to give us some expert feedback about each trail. And what I love about Carvins Cove is that you can access it from various different points throughout the valley, and you can get a different trail experience, or at least access the trails different ways. So isn't that right, Ben?
Yeah, Bennett Springs is probably the biggest place to park, aside from the boat landing. That's
Okay.
another one where you can kayak and things like that from there. And then the other one I believe is called Timberview Lot, which is just over the ridge here.
Okay, but
Oh, just
The ridge.
over the ridge.
2,500 feet over.
Say, you got to go up and over to get there, though. But you can access Bennett Springs from the other side, right? If you rode your bike, you could go across the ridge and come down. Is that right?
Yes, you could. Or you could go over the ridge and come right down Heidi Ho. It's one of my favorite trails.
okay. So we learned that there's over 30 trails here in the Carvins Cove area.
Whoa.
And 50 miles of trails. So you could really spend a year discovering all these trails and figuring out which one you like, right?
Yeah, there's something for everybody here.
Oh, okay. Well, let's talk about that. So are you saying a beginner like me, and then an advanced person that wants to do jumps and suicide missions? I mean, trail rides that are super fun. What do you think about the different levels of activity?
Yes, absolutely. So one of my favorite easy trails is called Enchanted Forest, and I love it because there's these huge tall pine trees and all these pine needles all over the floor of the forest that you can ride through. It's just quiet, beautiful, and you even get a little bit of a picturesque view of the cove going through there.
Oh, wow. Okay, so Enchanted Forest. Definitely check that out. And there's so many trails, y'all. We just captured a few that are some of the more popular. So let's dive into those. I had to write them down because there's too many to mention, which is a great thing, right?
Yeah, I was going to say, so if you come out here, and can you ride every single trail in a day, or does it take you longer than that to hit every trail here?
I would say no. I've come out and done probably 12, 13 miles at a time, and I've only covered 3 or 4 trails within that
Wow.
distance.
Holy cow.
Yeah, some of them, of course, are longer than others.
Oh,
but
yeah.
And this is not strictly for mountain biking. We've seen plenty of dogs and hikers and just people out having a leisurely stroll. Our family loves to come out here. We found a teepee down the road by the stream. Last time we came, there were kids in the stream playing and having fun. So it's a great multi-use facility, but it's especially attractive to those mountain bikers.
So let's go to the Gauntlet. I know that's one of them. I actually remember the Gauntlet and Heidi Ho. That might be the only 2 I remember. But let's go to Gauntlet and tell us about that and your experience.
Yeah, the Gauntlet. So getting to that trail, you can either come from the Bennett Springs lot and go up Heidi Ho, which is a brutal climb. If you want to suck some wind, climb up that trail, and you can go down Gauntlet from that side. Otherwise, you can access it from the Timberview lot, and then you can come up that same side and then go down. The Gauntlet is very steep in certain areas, but if you consider yourself a more advanced rider, it can be a lot of fun.
Right, so I'm seeing here that it's a 2-mile, 1,000-foot trail. So I see where the vertical really plays in. Heidi Ho, I heard that mentioned earlier. It says that it's a winding 1.5-mile trail with multiple up and down elevation changes. Do you know about Heidi Ho?
Yes, Heidi Ho starts out just up here actually, and it starts out which is rated a blue square, which is intermediate level, but as you go up it becomes a black diamond because it gets much steeper. And so going up, of course, anybody can go up as long as you have the lung power, but coming down might be challenging depending on where you're at with your skill level.
So is that what happens? Like when you get to it, when it becomes black, is it because of the steepness going down, or is it because of the incline?
Yeah, it's because of the steepness.
Okay.
Yeah.
No. It sounds so playful, Heidi Ho, but no.
That's what I
You
was.
get halfway up Heidi Ho, you be Heidi Ho.
Where's my
Yeah.
oxygen container?
That's cool. So what about Rattling Run? I see that this is, according to this, it's considered one of the toughest trails, and it's 2.28 miles, and it leads to Songbird, which is an easier trail.
Yes, Rattle and Run is actually on the other side of the parking lot, and you can access it straight away as soon as you cross the road here. And yes, it's a very difficult trail, mainly because there are areas you cross where there's sort of streams coming down the mountainside, very steep, and then boulders that you have to climb through.
Oh, wow.
Even at my skill level, oftentimes I'm getting off my bike and walking it over them.
Really?
Yeah.
That's what I was going to ask. So do you have to go slow over those? That's not like one of those things you're going real fast.
Yeah, slow and precise.
Wow.
Ooh,
Yeah.
scary.
So that brings up another question. You know, with all these leaves falling on the ground, it's still an excellent time to come out and ride. But what's your favorite season to ride and why?
That's a great question. I mean, I love the summer because it's warm, but at the same time, there's a great appeal to seeing all the beautiful leaves falling, the colors changing, the leaves falling from the trees. And even if it's a little bit colder like right now, as soon as you start riding, you know, your body starts to warm up. So
that's good.
I would say right around now is one of my favorite times.
Okay, great. And then OG, I'm reading that it's a steep downhill trail known for having some really incredible jumps. It's only a half-mile run, so it sounds short, but really intense. Tell us about that
It
one.
is very intense, yes. And they just, so one thing I'll say is the trail systems here is really well maintained by volunteers and teams that work on the trails. And they just completed a refresh of OG. And OG is full of huge jumps and huge berms, which is when you kind of wind down and there's embankments and things like that. So there's a lot to get into on that trail, and I would say expert level only. It definitely has kept my skill level in check many times.
Ooh, nice.
The OG,
Well,
okay.
and I think you were also telling us whenever we were walking in that, you know, overall with Bennett Springs parking lot being so large, it may be packed in the parking lot, but when you're out here, do you feel like you're overwhelmed and you're crowded with people that are actually on the trails?
No, I would say that even at its busiest, I've never not been able to find a spot to park here. And when you get out on the trails, because there's so many trails, 50 miles of trails, that you don't really run into people that often. I mean,
Wow.
periodically, yes, but I would never say I felt like, oh, it's too crowded.
Okay, so that's something really great to take note of, is that even though it's one of the most desirable places to mountain bike, you still have that freedom to feel like you're exploring things kind of on your own or with whomever you're here. It doesn't feel like a really crowded park where you're on top of each other. So what a blessing that is to
Yeah.
have that freedom to
Absolutely.
ride. Awesome.
All right, so before we tell you about the 5 other areas, let's make sure we get some action-packed footage of the man himself being here on the trails for you today.
Definitely.
Hal, I thought you'd never ask.
The second area for mountain biking here and what I want to tell you about is actually in the heart of the city, and that is the Mill Mountain area, which also has Blue Cow ice cream right beside it. So whenever you're done coming back down the mountain, because how many miles was it?
13 and a half miles, y'all. And right in the heart of downtown Roanoke. I love that. You can't get more convenient than that. Talk about this great contrast with urban life, and then you've got this beautiful scenic view on a 13 and a half mile trail, and it takes you up a 2,000-foot change in elevation.
Holy cowabunga. I'm just saying, when you come back down after all that elevation change, you're gonna need some ice cream.
And that ice cream is phenomenal. But you start there, you head on up, and then when you get to the top, you're right there on Mill Mountain, and there's so many things to check out. There's beautiful overlooks.
Oh, yeah.
You've got a zoo and a botanical trail and all kinds of little hikes you can go on, picnics you can do, and just some time to rest.
I was gonna say, you're gonna need some rest after making that ascent, I would assume. So you can hike, you can bike, and you can just hang out there as well. But we're talking about mountain biking today, so get your mountain biking on at Mill Mountain in the city of Roanoke. All right, so let's jump into the third area we want to tell you about today. And we're going to talk about an area that is nicknamed Dragon's Back because of its proximity to Dragon's Tooth Trail.
I like that trail a lot. It's a
Wow.
hard trail. But yeah, let's talk about Dragon's Back. This one is 12 miles long, and it changes in elevation from about 1,500 all the way up to 3,000 elevation
I'm just
change.
saying,
Yeah,
wow.
that must be tough. And this is for your more advanced riders, right?
You got to be technically savvy to be able to do this one, because
Okay.
you're going to have that high ascent,
Right.
and then you're going to have a pretty cool descent.
There is a little warning that you need to take this maybe at a slower pace, a more moderate pace, and also that you will be forced to get off of your bike and walk some on this trail. So
Whoa.
yeah, talk about a challenge. I wonder if Vin's done that one. We'll have to ask him.
We'll ask him whenever we see him. We'll stroll back by right here on his bike.
So this is pretty interesting too. So it's off of Route 311 is where you can access it at Deer Trail. And then you'll get onto a couple other trails like Turkey Trail and then North Mountain Trail. But I thought this was pretty fascinating. We laughed at this. Once you're back on Deer Trail to have the descent back to where you started, it's going to be a, quote, fast-paced 1,000-foot descent. So I'm just imagining a fast-paced 1,000-foot descent on a bike. That sounds like so much fun. What do you
It does
think?
sound like fun. I wouldn't want to do it, but I'm afraid she might jump off the bike before she got started.
I think it'd be great. As long as I had a helmet, I would be fine. Hey, if y'all have been on this trail or any others, we want to hear from you and what your experience was on the trail. So leave us a comment. Tell us all about it.
So let's tell you about the next area, which we're very familiar with because of the fact that it's got some easy hiking for the family, and that's Roaring Run up toward in between Fincastle and Eagle Rock.
Yes, Roaring Run is just so popular with families. It's a nice, wide, easy trail. There's a beautiful waterfall at the end, and there's a lot of history.
There is Iron
thrown
Furnace.
in there as well. You can still see the furnace that stands today. But I did not know there's some mountain biking trails
There's two of them.
carved within this. This is the Hoop Hole Trail, and there's an upper trail and a lower trail.
And they are not easier for the faint of heart, it does not appear.
Right. So this covers about 12 and a half miles of the Roaring Run recreational area. Say that 5 times. And what could you do after you're hot and sweaty and you've done the trails? What would you want to do? What do you do
So when you're done, you get to go splish splash in the creek, in the Roaring Creek there.
Yeah, that
You
would
can
be
cool
so
off
nice.
after a very technical mountain biking
Right,
experience.
and that water is usually very cold.
Brr.
Let's dig into the upper Hoop Hole Trail, and that's about a 6-mile trail. It's over 2,500 feet in elevation, and it's listed as a 2-diamond, very difficult trail.
That sounds tough.
Yes, yeah.
You want a challenge? Go check that one out.
That's right. And then the lower Hoop Hole Trail is only about 3.2 miles. And while it's a little easier, it's still listed as a 1-diamond trail, so pretty challenging.
So the next area we want to tell you about is south of Roanoke, down in Franklin County. It's Old Buzzard in the Wade Recreation Area. And this may be the most exhilarating trail in the Roanoke Valley for you to check out, whether you're visiting or living here full time.
Yeah, it happens to be one of the newest trails, but it's certainly one of the most unique too. I really like this. It says that there is a jump line featuring 15, count it, 15 consecutive jumps. Can you imagine that?
That's a lot.
1, 2, 3. That's a lot. Keep going. Keep going. And it also includes a 26-foot launch that some riders have called the dirt roller coaster.
Wow.
So it sounds like it would be a lot of fun to check out, and just exhilarating, I think, is the right word. Because you think of a roller coaster going up,
Oh, yeah,
that
absolutely. Yeah,
anticipation,
yeah.
you just keep going. I love it.
Okay, so the 6th area we want to highlight for you today is going to be Blue Ridge Parkway Epic Loop. Man, that is a mouthful.
I know.
But you know why it's a mouthful? Because there's a lot of mileage to be found here on this particular trail.
Yeah, it's more than 41 miles of trail, and it has an elevation of over 5,000 feet. So that elevation change of 5,000 feet, that's pretty interesting. I love the name Epic Loop. I mean, that just speaks for itself, right?
Epic.
And some of the 4 really awesome trails that are on the Epic Loop include Glenwood, Mine Shaft, Speck Mines, and Doty Ridge?
I say Doty, you say Dottie,
Dotty?
Doty,
You say tomato? I say tomato? I don't know.
potato.
Help us out. So pretty interesting though, but the route goes over a fire road, gravel, and even the parkway itself, which is a beautiful place. Normally you think about the Blue Ridge Parkway for cars and scenic vistas and everything, but you know, on a mountain bike, I imagine it looks just beautiful.
Right, and so this particular, the epic loop per se, it goes all the way from the northern part of Botetourt County in Buchanan all the way down to the south side of Botetourt County, which is Blue Ridge, and it even creeps over east over towards Bedford as well in Bedford County.
Yeah, I bet that would be beautiful. That whole area is so gorgeous. Combine it with the Blue Ridge Parkway, combine it with all those trails. These are gonna be longer trails that you're gonna really enjoy, take your time, and just make a day of it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you're gonna make sure you have some water, some
Food.
snacks, some lunch, a second lunch, etc., to make sure you've got the fuel you need to enjoy the whole day on the Blue Ridge Parkway
Epic Trail.
Loop.
Oh, Epic Loop.
So if this sounds epic, exhilarating, and exciting to you as far as the mountain biking trails here in Roanoke, and you're ready to make the move, please make sure you reach out to us ASAP. Call us, text us, email us so we can help you make that dream a reality.
Absolutely. And while you watch the next video, I think I'm gonna go track down Ben and see if we can hijack his bike and do some wheelies or something.
Oh, I'll try it. I'm gonna go. See ya.